folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Have lots of news to talk about. Things are just happening, and as we've said so many times before, it's progressing, advancing. They keep moving down that road of complete total control. New world order, great reset sort of thing. I probably shouldn't say those words. I made an entire video this morning talking about them, and boy, they slapped me on the wrist, and I'm pretty sure that video was shadow banned. Just looking at the numbers, the stats on it were not very good. You can always tell that when you got good videos, and all of a sudden you do something on that type of subject and it just tanks. It's pretty good indication that someone over at the YouTube censorship didn't like it. But hey, they got to have a job too, so I'm just giving them some job security. It's the stuff, though. It's the stuff that we have to talk about. I've had some people, probably trolls, complain that, this is the same stuff all the time. This is all we hear about. It's the same stuff in the news. Well, it's not the same stuff. It's the same kind of stuff, but it's definitely progressing. We're definitely see advancing of these agendas that they're trying to push on us. And so that's why we need to keep up on it, so that it kind of gives us an idea of how much longer we have left. Before I get started, I want to show you guys something. I don't like to sell too much stuff or push it, but there's some good deals, and I want to show you. And it's not just that it helps myself and my family out. This helps our community. A portion of these sales that come into this channel, they go back to our community, and we're helping folks that are in need. And we're also working on, building more real infrastructure here in our community. So that's part of what your money is going to when you buy this stuff. And this is stuff that's good stuff. So My Patriot Supply is running a Black Friday sale, and they've got some pretty good stuff. There's a link down in the description of an account with them. So you can go down there and click on my link, and you can find some pretty good stuff here. I was just looking to see what it was. You got a 2-week food supply here for $127. You've got a 1 year for those that can afford it, $3,100. It's marked down almost $1,500. The Alexa Pure, a lot of people love these Alexa Pures. Look at that. It's a regular $270, marked down to $179. It's like $100 off. Big deal. There's some pretty good, there's some, Hanukkah or stocking stuffer gifts for whoever does what for, holidays. There's quite a bit here. So if you're interested in this stuff, and this is just their Black Friday sale, they've got books, you can get, these are the same books you can get on Amazon, and they're roughly the same price as Amazon, but your money's going to a patriotic, conservative, prepping American business and not Amazon. So even though you can say, I can get that this or there, is the money going to a business that's supporting, not only you're supporting their business, which is, again, patriotic, conservative, prepping business. A portion of those sales go to not just my family, but our community in, helping each other, helping the people within our community in need, helping us build infrastructure, conduct training, meetings, all that kind of stuff. It all goes to fund that. So anyways, if you're interested, go down there at the bottom of the screen below my little video, and there's a description drop-down screen, and there is a link there for My Patriot Supply that can get you to that. I want to take you to some of the news now, and it's kind of broken up between health and military and finances and, well, just who knows what, right? First off, I don't know if you've seen this. It's been floating around the news for the last day or so, but Health and Human Services have sent a report recommending permanent mask mandates, recommending that they make these things permanent, and distancing for what's called long COVID. Now, this is a term that I've been hearing more and more about. People that had it and they can't get over the symptoms. They seem like the symptoms are permanent. It's because of the damage that's been done, and then also people that are getting the thing in their arm. The permanent damage from that. So, to fix that, we need to do mask mandates and distancing, permanent, because that helped the first time or two or three around, right? Speaking of things that they put in people's arms, report come out. I know this, it's sad, but it maybe vindicates some of you that I'm not going to say that word. The Americans that got the thing are now a majority of the COVID deaths for the first time. So now the people that's getting this, their deaths related to the disease are surpassing the people that chose not to get this. I seem to remember hearing the president saying that if you get the thing in your arm, that you're not going to get sick anymore. Maybe it's not dying that he was talking about. I mean, in my mind, death, well, if you're not going to get sick anymore, then you're probably not going to die from it anymore, because you usually have to get sick to die. So if you don't get sick, then... But maybe that's not how they think, because there's a majority now of the people that are not surviving the illness are the ones that got the what in their arm. Moving on to financial stuff, we've been seeing a lot of stuff here lately about CBDCs. And I said the other day, I said, isn't it such a coincidence that right after this, FTX and this cryptocurrency debacle, and we're seeing all these crypto exchanges hurt and go bankrupt. I saw the other day it was like 120 businesses so far have had to file bankruptcy because of the FTX thing, and then there's others. It's just been struggling. That right after that, we start hearing all over the world. It was Hong Kong the other day, I think Taiwan, the United States, a few other countries, and now Japan talking about their digital stuff. So top Japan banks, these are commercial banks that the people use, and the Bank of Japan, which is their central bank, announced that they are going to begin trials of digital yen, that's CBDC, first of next year, which is, a month away. And it makes it, the way the article's written, it makes it sound like, oh, that's way off in the future. No, it's the first of next year. So, once the new year rolls around, which is pretty much the same as all the rest of them have said, they're going to start playing around with the CBDC. Military stuff. The Turks have struck inside of North Syria. This isn't so strange, but it has been increasing. But Turkey has been doing airstrikes in Syria, and this time they struck a Russian base. Russia is, they're getting all kinds of strange accidents happen to them. According to the article, Turkey was targeting some rebels inside of Syria that were inside a Russian base. Apparently, they did not notify Russia. A lot of times, there's notification if there's a force that's not being targeted could get, accidentally, hit by friendly fire or collateral damage. This time it didn't happen. They struck this site, and according to the news, one Russian soldier has been injured. No Russian deaths. There were deaths to these rebels. I can't remember which ones. It's Kurdish positions inside a Russian base in Syria. I can't speak today. Sorry. Killing a fighter, a Kurdish official said, but it did also. It's somewhere in here. That there was an injury. Well, it's don't make a liar out of me. Did they change it? I read here that, my goodness. Oh, yes, I said a Russian soldier was also wounded in the strike. Whew, man. I knew I read it somewhere. Thought maybe they edited it or changed it since I'd last looked. But yes, a Russian soldier was injured in the strike. So that's going on, and this kind of stuff is just going to keep happening as things heat up. The U.S. military's commented and said that American troops were at risk from that Turkish strike on a Syrian base. So it seems like the United States and the Russians are a little bit upset with the Turks because they got a little too close to both of them. And we'll see. I saw something that the Russians were uh, telling the Turkish government that they should be a little bit more cautious with their strikes. So, we'll see. On to money, your money that's getting, burned away. The United States is to provide $4.5 billion loan to Ukraine through the World Bank. Another money laundering, I guess. Man, those elites in Ukraine are probably making a lot of money. I wonder how much Zelensky's worth now. The billions that's been sent over there. But $4.5 billion to go to Ukraine through the World Bank. This is going to be in the way of a, like a loan to them. On top of this $4.5 billion through the World Bank that we're sending, we are also sending $400 million in security assistance. This is military aid. We are sending, this kind of military aid over to Ukraine. And does anyone care? No. Oop, what happened there? I think my screen kind of went crazy. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what's going on with my computer. Anyways, U.S. announces $400 million. So we've sent $4.5 billion. That goes to the rich people. I mean, apparently it's to go feed people and help them and other things, but this is for just military aid. I don't know. Speaking of military weapons and security assistance and all that, Canada, this is for you Canadians. They just recently passed that pretty much a pistol ban for the most part, making it pretty much impossible to purchase a pistol. They are amending that bill. There's an amendment to amend that piece of legislation, and there's a good chance it could pass. And this pretty much all out bans semi-automatic center-fire weapons. So most of all your rifles and shotguns that are semi-automatic would be included in this. This is going to make it a pretty bad thing in Canada. They're flat out, they're taking your rights away, my Canadian brothers. It's happening. And don't think, you Americans, that it would never happen here. They have ways of getting things done. Moving on to weather-related stuff. This one here, let's get that out of there. I don't want to subscribe to this rag. Persistent drought adds billions to California agriculture loss. And when we see that, it's loss for the entire nation, because a large amount of our food that is grown comes from California. The fruits and vegetables, in large part, come from California, and they're losing money because they're losing crops because of the droughts and the stuff that's going on with the grand solar minimum and everything. And it's just going to keep getting worse. It's just going to keep getting worse, and this is why we have to keep preparing. It's not doomsday. It's not worrying about something that's not worth worrying about. It's the real deal, folks. And we've got to take it serious because there's too many people that don't. There's too many people that don't pay attention to it. And unfortunately, in my opinion, those ones that don't pay attention to things are probably going to end up being the biggest danger and risk to most of us, because it'll be like some kind of zombie movie. They're panicked, they're freaking out, they're hungry, they're scared, and they're gonna do whatever it takes. When people get history have shown, and I'm not talking past ancient history, I'm talking recent history in the last few decades. It's easy to look at and find civilized, developed nations that collapsed, and the citizens went from being a civilized people to being pretty much wild animals. And it could happen here in the United States. Don't think that we are above that. In fact, many folks, including myself, believe that it would be even worse, because for the first time in human history, the American society of the West, our culture, is the most separated from any kind of self-sufficiency. We have no independence whatsoever as individuals. Everything has to be at our fingertips and handed to us and done for us. Maybe not you and I, but a large majority of Americans. And they don't know how to take care of themselves. and you take all that comfort and lavish and convenient lifestyle away from them, what will they do? Probably bad things. And that's why we need to prepare. That's why we need to have communities and do the things that you're doing. Keep doing them. Don't stop, because it's just getting worse. I was talking to a friend last night of the increased violence, that it's not just the big cities, it's the smaller cities, the suburbs, places that aren't anywhere near, the big downtown urban areas where, of course, you have crime there all the time. We're talking in places that they shouldn't be, and not just crime, but people that just aren't right. People that have, given themselves over to drugs, to, satanic tendencies, to giving themselves over to insanity, their own insanity. It's becoming much more widespread. And this is all signs of a collapsing society. And so that's why we have to keep preparing, keep building up and strengthening our communities. Because in the end, that's the only thing that's going to, possibly prevent us from falling into their worldview, their plan, their utopian. If you want to avoid that, then you need to stick with your peeps, because that's about the only way. And then, of course, also the spiritual. We have to keep our eyes on the Father, because in the end, He's the only one that is going to save us from all this. But I'm talking about really right now just in a physical sense. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order, to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for watching. Catch you in the next video.